Joint probability mass function. Name Shamkumar. Rule number 21951 section ITB subject mass second semester. Probability and statistics. Probability deals with predicting likelihood of future events, while statistics involves the analysis of the frequency of past events. Probability is primary theoretical branch of maths which studies the sequence of mathematical definitions. Probability statistics are related areas of mathematics which concern themselves with analyzing the relative frequency of events. Still, there are fundamental differences in the way they see the world. Both subjects are important, relevant, and useful, but they are different, and understanding the distinctions is circular in properly interpreting the reliance of mathematical evidence. Many a grammar has gone to a cold and lonely grave for falling to make the proper decision between probability and statistics. The distinctions, while purpose, become clearer if we trace the through process of a mathematician encountering her first craps game. If instead statistician wondered by, she would see the dice and think those dice may look okay, but how do I know they are not loaded? I will watch a while and keep track how often each number comes the if my observation are consistent with the assumption of equal probability faces. Once I am confident enough that the dice are fair, problems probabilist to tell me how to pay. Modern probability theory emerged from the dice tables of France in 1654. Chevalier of de Marais, of a French nobleman, wondered whether the player or the house had the advantage in a variation of the following being game 6.1 in the basic version. The player rolls 4 dice and 3 wins provided none of them are 6. Then houses collects on the even money bet if at least one 6 appears. But such a computation will only make sense if you simulated J alive what is a model constitution with the real world. Johnny and Newman once said that the valuation of a poker hand can be sheer mathematics. We have to reduce our revolution of a pilote to sheer mathematics. Probability and statistics are the two important concepts in maths. Probability is about chance, where statistics is more about how to handle various data using different techniques. It helps to represent probability and introduced in class 10, 11, and 12 class students preparing from schools and exams and competitive exams. Table and probability statistics terms. Probability topics, statistics topics, formula followed examples. What is probability? Probability denotes the possibility of the outcomes of any random event. The meaning of this term is to check the extent to which any ever event is likely to happen. For example, when getting head, the probability is measured the likelihood of an event to happen. It measures the certainty of the event. The formula of probability is given by P of is equal to number of favorable outcomes by number of total outcomes. P of is equal to N of E by N of S. N of is equal to number of event favorable to event E. Number of S. N of S. Total number of outcomes. What is statistics? Statistics is the study of collection, analysis, interpretation presentation and organization of data. Organization of data, it is a method of collecting and summarizing the data. Random, the variables analyzed in the probability and statistics concepts such as random experiment, sample, random variables, expected value, independence, variance, means. Let us discuss by one more. Random experiment, an experiment whose result cannot be predicated until it is noticed, is called random experiment. For example, when we throw a dice randomly, the result is uncertain to us. We can get any output between 1 to 6 hints. This experiment is random. Random variable. The variables which denote the possible outcomes of a random experiment are called random variables. Random variables are two types: discrete random variables, continuous random variables. Discrete random variables take only the distance through values which are countable. Continuous random variables could take an infinite number of possible values. Mean. Mean is mean of a random variable or is the average the random values of the possible outcomes of a random experiment. In simple terms, it is the expectation of a possible outcomes of the random experiment repeated again and again or n number of times. It is also called the expectations of a random variance. Basically, the variance tells us how the values of a random variables are spread around the mean value. It specifies the distribution of the sample space across the mean. Classification definition of probability. As the name suggests, the classical approach to defining probability is the oldest approach. It states that if there are n executive mutually exclusive adequately like cases out of the which m cases are favorable to the happening of event A. P of A is equal to number of favorable cases by total number of equally like cases is equal to mn. What are the five rules of probability? The probability of an impossible event in pi or a null set. The maximum probability of an event is it is simple space. The probability of an event exists between 0 and 1.0 can also be a probability. There cannot be a negative probability for an event. Measures of central value. Sometimes when we are working with a large amount of data, we need one single value to represent the whole set. In math, there are three measures to find the central value of a given set of data. They are mean, median, mode. Mean. Mean represents an average of a given set of numbers. For example, in the given data set 579, the mean is obtained by adding all the numbers and dividing sum of total count of numbers. 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9 by 4 is equal to 6. Median represents the central of middle value of data set. For example, given data set 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 15, 17, 18. The median obtained, choose middle the value 10. Mode is the most frequently occurring data item. For example, the given data set 30, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. The mode is obtained by choosing the most frequently occurring then item in the data set. Standard deviation. Standard deviation is a measure that tells us how far is data value from the mean. It is obtained by taking square root of variance. What is difference between probability and statistics? Probability deals with whole of events, whereas the statistics deals with analysis and interpretations of frequency of events. What is formula to find the probability of an event? The probability of an event is the ratio of a number favorable outcomes to the total number of favorable outcomes of the event. Thank you. Probability and statistics, the branches of mathematical concentrated with the laws of governing random events, including the collection, analysis, interpretation, or display of numerical data. Probability has its origin in the study of gambling and insurance in the 17th century, and it is now an indispensable tool of both social and natural science. Statistics may be said to have its origin in census counts taken thousands of years ago. As a distinct scientific discipline, however, it was developed in the early 19th century as the study of populations, economics, and moral actions, and later in the century as the mathematical tool. 100 to 36536. Statistics has a hug scope in many fields such as psychologically, psychology, physiology, geology, weather forecasting, etc. The data collected here for analysis could be quantitative or qualitative. Quantitative data are also known as two types such as discrete and random. Discrete data has a fixed value, whereas continuous data is not fixed but has a range. There are many terms and formulas used in the sets and below